What's up, everybody? Kier Gomes here, and welcome back. So just a couple of updates. I know that I recently mentioned on Instagram that I was not going to be uploading videos as frequently, at least for a while, and I wasn't exactly sure how long that hiatus, I guess, was supposed to be. There's a lot of things going on in my life right now, and I'm not always eager to share every detail about my life outside of, magic. But just in the interest of letting everybody know what's going on, and I know a lot of you have been asking, and I really appreciate that, and I cannot say thank you enough for everybody's support. It does mean so much to me. But recently, in my personal life, I've been dealing with a lot of stress around some medical issues. Not my personal medical issues, but I've been dealing with some family stuff, medical issues kind of in my family. But there was just so much happening, and of course that comes first, so thank you to everybody that has reached out. There's just a quick update, I won't get too much into it. And today I'm gonna bring you something very special. This is something that is personally very near and dear to me, so here we go. As most of you know, I recently did the Kickstarter trailer for Nick Nisco, who is the head of Elemental Playing Cards. He's the designer, the creator. He's basically just an all-in-one man for that company. So I did the trailer for the Kickstarter, and it was successfully funded pretty quickly, and I was very proud to be a part of that project, and I finally got my decks. So today I'm gonna give you a full-blown look at the new Elemental Playing Cards Hydrogen deck, fresh off the press at USPCC. Now these just started getting funded and fulfilled from Kickstarter, and Nick sent me a brick of them for my help creating the trailer, so I'm really excited to crack one open, review it for you, and I'm happy to say also some of these are still available if you hit up Nick, so there's that. As always, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's roll that intro and get you guys on your way.
Let's go.
All right, so these are the Hydrogen playing cards by Elemental. Here's one that I just cracked open. I have not shuffled it yet. It's still brand new. As well, I owe you guys an announcement of the winner of the giveaway that I was doing, so make sure you stick around to the end of this video and I will announce the winner. So here we go. Oh, it matches my sweatshirt. Look at that. Not planned, but now we have a thumbnail. All right, the box is done in glossy black and white cardstock. It has a giant circle on the front with a capital H in the middle. It says Hydrogen below it. That circle does wrap around to both sides of the deck, and both sides say Elemental Playing Cards. I like it with that E in there, in the logo, kind of looks like Breaking Bad kind of. And there's a hydrogen molecule on the corner on both sides. The bottom has some ad copy about Elemental Playing Cards. The top says Hydrogen under a custom seal, which takes me to the back design, which has the periodic table tile for Hydrogen. Now this is not the back design of the cards. However, as a limited edition, that might have been kind of cool. But you also get a custom seal. This deck is like chock full of science references. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get all of them. So bear with me, and if you spot any that I don't mention, please feel free to comment that down below. There's a quote on the inside of the tongue flap, which I really appreciate. That's just a nice little touch. We are an example of what hydrogen atoms can do given 15 billion years of cosmic evolution. That's a quote from Carl Sagan, renowned scientist. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Even I know who he is, and I'm an idiot. All right, let's look at the cards. Oh. Ooh. Now here's why my excitement for this is so grand, and it's because I had the prototype of this deck so I could do the trailer, and I saw the design, I saw how good it looked, but I also I had the prototype of the deck, so it didn't feel as good as the finished product, and frankly it didn't look as good either. So let's talk about how it looks. This is the back design of the deck. As you can see, there is a bunch of capital H's, some of them in bold, some of them not, making up this really interesting, almost checkerboard back design, which I think looks amazing. You can see two hydrogen molecules, kind of like linking rings in the middle. And there is just a splash of color with those red dots there on the back. Looks really nice, and of course says hydrogen at the top and bottom, with a thin white border and a nice black outline. So The black outline really helps add some contrast to this deck and some texture, and in fans, that really comes in handy, so, ooh, looks so good. This is what the cards look like in a fan. You'll see this again when we talk about the handling. I'll get a cleaner one for you, but as you can see, really nice contrast, looks so good. You are gonna get 2 hand-drawn jokers. These jokers were illustrated by Nick himself. And it's very sciencey, but also has a nice homage to classic Magic with the linking rings. Very clever, very well drawn. These are amazing, amazing jokers. If you guys didn't know, Nick Nisco not only designed the Elemental playing cards, he's also the designer for the Slow Hands deck, which is my deck that we will be releasing sometime in the winter, so really adds to how special this episode really is. Also a very, very nice Ace of Spades. You get a enlarged chunky spade pip, which I can appreciate with a kind of white and black outline, and then again with the hydrogen element being represented there in the middle. It says hydrogen and then has the atomic weight or atomic mass of hydrogen just below it. Yeah, it's the atomic mass. And then it says elemental. Dope Ace of Spades, absolutely love it, no criticism from me. And I'm not just saying that because Nick is designing my deck, I'm also saying that because it is a very well-designed Ace of Spades, so nice. All right, now as far as ad cards and gaff cards go, you are gonna get my favorite gaff card, which is a double backer. Very handy for magic effects. You can use it for so many things, and if you guys are interested, I might do an episode using this deck where I talk about how you can incorporate a double backer into your magic effects. You also get a duplicate 2 of Hearts, which is also really good for certain magic effects, so kind of always useful. This deck, fresh out of the box, comes in stack, so you can see it is not in new deck order. If you use a stack in your magic effects, then you already know how handy that can be, especially with the astonishment of just opening a deck of cards and it already being in a stack that you've memorized. Now you are gonna have standard USPCC faces on all of the number cards, but the face cards or court cards are completely customized. So let's take a look at those. You can see that the blue has been swapped out for black, so it's black, yellow, and red, which I think looks really clean, kind of vintage, and I really like it. As well, you can see a little Easter egg here on the Queen of Spades. There is a 2 of Hearts reveal. This is cool because you have a duplicate 2 of Hearts and a 2 of Hearts reveal on one of the other face cards, so there's a load of magic effects that you can use that for. Now, some of the court cards don't have reveals, but they do have cool things like science-y Easter eggs in there. As you can see on the Queen of Diamonds, there is the 2 hydrogen elements and then, or molecules. Hydrogen, is it molecules? I think so. Hydrogen, you have 2 hydrogens right there. The Jack of Spades, kind of the same thing, just these cool little Easter eggs. I really, really love the color customization. That might be my favorite part of the court cards. That's what the Jack of Clubs looks like. So well drawn too. It just looks so good. Kind of also reminds me of the court cards on the Smoke and Mirrors decks. Just with the kind of simplified down uniforms, and then the black, red, and yellow being the color scheme. It looks so good, especially with a deck that's all black and white. Really, really clean. Jack of Diamonds looks great. He's got those 2 H's kind of on his sash, which looks cool. King of Spades looks the most standard probably out of all of them. Good looking King of Diamonds. Actually, that might be my favorite court card in this deck. I love that, and I love these big yellow H's. Standard, standard, standard. Jack of Hearts looks great. Man, these court cards are so good. They look so good. Nick, if you're watching this video, Nick, as if you didn't already know how excited I am to be working on a deck with you, seeing your first deck in person and the way that it came out, I am so proud of you, man. You did such a good job, and I could not be more excited to work with you. King of Clubs looks good. Look at that. I wonder if the King of Clubs that Nick designs on the Slow Hands deck will have my face on it. And now I can't wait any longer. That's how the deck looks. Let's switch angles and talk about how it handles. So in terms of handling, this deck feels amazing. So These cards are printed on crushed premium stock or crushed B stock by the United States Playing Card Company. Right out of the box, they feel extremely slick and very soft. So one thing I absolutely love about recent releases from USPCC is that you can pretty much count, on not having to break them in when you get them. They come in feeling pretty soft already. This is what the cards look like in a fan, so very nice. I love the kind of black outline. It adds some depth and some dimension to the way these cards look, especially in things like spreads. It just looks really good, very clean and crispy, but also it just has that little something extra, and I am on board with it 100%. I also like the way these cards look under pressure, so here you go. Ooh, love it. Cards spring very easily. As you can see, I'm not really having any issues. There's not really a lot of resistance. Some cards are so stiff that when you go to spring them, they just kind of shoot out everywhere. I would say my spring is pretty good, and a lot of you seem to agree. So even for me, if a deck is too stiff, it's very difficult to get these pretty springs. And this one just springs. Not only does it look great, it feels so good because of that crushed stock. Ooh, here's that new gerbil sound. Let's see how the cards faro. Looks like they definitely faro from top to bottom. In terms of cardistry, these cards look really cool in movement. A lot of that has to do with the two rings in the middle. They just look really cool. And one thing that I noticed when I was playing with this deck is if you spin it super fast, it actually looks like the two rings become one. Now I did ask Nick if that was intentional, and it was not, but it is a cool little thing. Let me see if I can capture that. I think you can see it there. So that's kind of a magic effect in itself. Now, I'm one of those people where when I get a deck of cards, the first thing I want to do is shuffle it. And the reason for that is because when you first get decks, they're extremely slick. And especially from USPCC, they come out of the box and they're super slippery, which is a very satisfying feeling. But when you start to break them in a little bit, you can really get a feel for how these cards are going to handle. And I can tell you right now, as a deck reviewing expert, these cards are going to last me a long time and they're going to feel good the entire time. Crushed B stock is definitely my favorite stock from USPCC. And there's a reason for that. It definitely feels the best. The cards last really long. They're like the perfect thickness. They're not too thick, not too thin. Let's check the snappiness. Ooh. Wow, we're gonna have to do that again. Nice. Very nice. Well guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode and my review of the new Hydrogen playing cards by Elemental Playing Cards. If you didn't get a chance to back this deck on Kickstarter, I'm sorry you missed out. However, there are still some available. If you contact Nick at Elemental Playing Cards on Instagram, I'll link it below. Nick is a great guy. I know that he would be happy to sell you a deck, so hit him up. I'm sure you can still get your hands on one if you hurry. And I have a whole brick of them, so I may be giving some away at some point. So if I decide to do that, I will definitely make sure that I make a video for it. So speaking of giveaways, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do a video this weekend, so I was a little bit nervous about whether or not I was going to be able to announce the winner, but I didn't want to let anybody down, so here we go. I do want to start by saying, and this is kind of the case for every giveaway I do, thank you all so much for entering. Reading your comments is always good for me. In some ways, I find it therapeutic. I wish I could give all of you a deck of cards. Unfortunately, I just can't. But the winner of the used brick giveaway for this round is Clever Tricks 101. Thank you so much for your comment. I appreciated the reference to Harry Potter. All of you guys had amazing comments. I did thoroughly enjoy all of them. This was the winner that I picked for this round, but don't worry because I will be doing other giveaways very soon. Clever Tricks 101, if that is you, get in touch with me on Instagram. Or if you don't have Instagram, just leave me a comment here letting me know the best way to contact you so I can get your shipping details and get your decks out to you. As always, guys, please do drop a like on this video, and I hope you'll consider subscribing for more awesome content just like this. All that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. I know I will. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.